took over as host of Wheel of Fortune in 1981. He began one of the most successful runs in the history of television. He earned multiple Emmys on a show. 30-plus years later, that show is more popular than ever. You can see Pat spinning the wheel weeknights at 7 o'clock on Como. It's fun to watch. You can also catch him. He's guest starring on Steve Burns' great sitcom, Sullivan and Son. Spike's a huge fan of this. I just watched a clip of it with Pat Sajak on it. It's a very funny segment. This is Sullivan and Son. See it Thursday at 10 o'clock on TBS. And Pat Sajak, welcome once again to the Bob Rivers Show on KJR in Seattle. Hi, Pat. How you doing?
Let me put down my cigarette. Good to be back with you. How you guys doing? Yeah, I'm fine.
Great. You know, you are just lovable. I mean, you are. I saw you in this episode. You are self-effacing. You make jokes. Of course, it's a dream sequence, but you joke about Wheel of Fortune and you joke about Vanna, and you come off like a guy who doesn't take it all that seriously. Is that right?
Well, I mean, you're right. And Vanna's the same way, too, which is why she's easy to get along with, and we've had such a good run together. We're doing a game show. We're playing Hangman, for gosh sakes. And, it's not rocket science, as they say. And so, which is not to say we don't take the show seriously and take our job seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. It's been a fluky kind of success. I mean, who knew when we started that we'd be doing it generations later?
Right.
So we have fun with it, and doing the sitcom like Sullivan and Son was fun because though I'm playing myself, as you point out, it's kind of a dream, a hallucination sequence. And so I can kind of poke fun at who I am,
right.
and my persona.
You would never say that in a real-life, non-dream sequence situational comedy script. You would only say that in a dream sequence.
well, it's. Yeah, I mean, it was funny you say that because with the writers, when they originally, when they first show you the script, there were some lines in there. I said, I'm not going to. I can't do those because I'm not making fun of myself. I'm happy to make fun of myself. I can poke fun at Vanna because she's a pal, and I can poke a little gentle fun at the show. But they had some lines where I was kind of calling the players stupid and all that, and I said, that I won't do. And,
never the audience, yes.
Yeah, so it's okay to have fun with professionals, but the people who come on the show, we actually try to treat with respect. How's that for a concept?
That's amazing. Loving and appreciating your customers. Hey, Pat, has there ever been a study done about, and there are these programs for kids that are supposed to sharpen their minds. Has there ever been a study done that following along with Wheel of Fortune and trying hard to figure those things out is actually good for the brain?
Nothing. There have been no studies, but anecdotally, and we've been around so long now, the anecdotal evidence piles up. There are two groups that I hear this from. I hear it from young parents of young kids who literally say, "My kid learned the alphabet watching your show." I mean, we didn't intend that. I mean, we intended to do a game show and make a lot of money, but that's one thing I hear. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I hear from people whose parents are older, retired, perhaps living in assisted living, whatever, and slowing down a bit. That they think that half hour of engagement is really helpful to them too. So I think there's something about keeping your mind active, and while we're not doing physics problems on the air, it's enough of the puzzles are enough to keep young minds and older minds occupied, and I think that's a good thing.
I tell you what, Pat, I used to be a bartender, and I worked at a little neighborhood joint that was going under. It was an old man's bar. And I started playing Wheel of Fortune against the customers every night. I would get this bar packed in with people of my own age, college-age guys and girls, and they'd come in, and if anybody could guess the puzzle before I did, they got a free drink. And we turned this bar around with this. So it's the perfect game.
Amazing.
But what I want to ask you is, I know you've got so much other stuff that you've done. You've done a sports talk show. You've filled in on a regular basis for Regis. I know. I don't want to say, did you ever think it would get this huge? That Wheels kept you from anything else. But what would you have done if this hadn't worked?
Well, you don't know. You go from project to project. I mean, when I started Wheel, no one. Van and I used to sit around, 5 years into the run and say, "Gee, how long do you think this will last? In 10 years, how long do you think? In 20? How long do you?" Now we don't even ask the question. But I know what you're asking, and to me, there's nothing more boring or nausea-inducing, maybe, than some quasi-celebrity moaning about his lot in life. Oh, I've been on this sitcom for 10 years, and now people think I'm this character. Well, that's the way it works. That's the way TV works. If you don't like it, get off the sitcom and go do Shakespeare in the Park.
And there'll be a lot less people, by the way, and your bank account will be a little smaller, but you'll feel fulfilled. Yes.
Well, you mentioned.
Yeah. Well, it's no, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't like what you're doing, go do something else. But to take all the good things that come with it and then complain about it doesn't make any sense to me. There's a certain amount of baggage when someone says you're a game show host. There are certain images that come to mind with that, and I understand that, and I'm fine with that. If I weren't, I would have left a long time ago. But I like the show. I'm proud of the show. I don't want to make too much of it. We are just playing a simple little game, but people like it and they look forward to it, and it's a part of their lives. And as I get older, I think I have a greater appreciation of that than anything. That we have brought a lot of pleasure to a lot of people for a long time.
You mentioned
I like that.
You mentioned them making a lot of money in the beginning, Pat, and your and Vanna's salaries are published. I don't even know if that's accurate, but it claims you make twice as much as her. But I was reading last week that not only does she flip letters, but she flips houses. Vanna White is a very astute real estate investor and has made quite a bit of money in the real estate market. And I was wondering, do you have a side project? Do you invest in anything, or do you just like hoard gold bullion bars or something?
What do you do? Yeah.
Yes, generally I just have the gold bars delivered to my home, and no, we all do things away from the show that are not related to show business, whether it's real estate or whatever it is. I mean, you
it's all fun
things, but. Yeah. But obviously, the my bread and butter is wheel, and I'm happy to. Hopefully, I'll continue to do it for as long as people want to watch that goofy little thing spin around.
And Pat, when I sit down in Vegas and I push the Wheel of Fortune slot machine, you're getting a little jing from that too, right? That's licensing.
You know what? I have to admit, I don't.
Oh, bummer.
No. So you could just feel free.
I'll find something
the sore spot there.
Oh, sorry about that.
I'll find a new machine.
No, I'm fine. with it. But just for the record, I don't. But if you want to send me a portion of your winnings
or my losing, yeah. Pat Sajak.
No,
Pat,
don't send their losings.
Yeah, Pat. Always a pleasure talking to you. For Pat Sajak fans, check him out on Sullivan and Son. It's Hank Hallucinations. Very funny episode. Thursday night, 10 o'clock on TBS. Pat, be well.
Thanks, Bob. Good to be with you.
Bye.